Go ahead.
Jen, the EU voted to implement new travel restrictions. It's obviously up to the individual countries on whether they want to allow U.S. citizens, U.S. travelers into their countries. Obviously, we have not been letting many of those same people from those same countries come to the U.S., but what's the administration's reaction to the EU taking that step?
Well, I think it's first important to note that today's announcement by the EU impacts people who are unvaccinated and not people who are vaccinated. And we continue to encourage people to get vaccinated. And the fastest path to reopening travel is for people to get vaccinated, to mask up and slow the spread of the deadly virus. We continue to work across federal agencies to develop a consistent and safe international travel policy. This includes travel from Europe. This will involve stepping up efforts to protect American people, including by potentially strengthening testing protocols for international travel. It may also involve ensuring that over time foreign nationals coming to the United States are fully vaccinated with limited exceptions. No decision has been made yet, but these internal discussions have benefited greatly from our engagement with our international partners.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the weird part of YouTube, aka my channel. So everybody has been waiting for the EU update, and it's finally here. So the EU has finally announced that it's going to remove US from the safe country list and a couple of other countries, including Kosovo, Lebanon, and other 3 countries. So there's like 5 countries in today's list which has been removed. So what does this mean? Even though they did announce the travel restrictions, it means that the unvaccinated US citizens cannot enter the Schengen area. It still is, the people who are vaccinated can still travel to Europe, catch up the last of summer vacations and stuff like that. So it's still the unvaccinated that can't travel. More on this, the couple of other countries, the separate countries, like for example, if France wants to put a 14-day quarantine period, or if France is like no longer unvaccinated or vaccine doesn't matter, these sort of restrictions are left to the countries alone. I'm just taking France as an example, it's not really true. So that is how it's going to be right now. So it's still the thing that if you were to apply for a Schengen visa from the US, US citizens don't really need a visa to go to the European region, but if you are on a visa in the US and if you want to go there, you still can, as long as you are vaccinated. So what about the other side of the spectrum, which is the US? Is it going to open up? At the moment, the same information you just heard from the press secretary, that there is no update on that. So when can we actually expect an update? As in when I keep predicting stuff, it's not going right at all. I think I'm like more optimistic with regards to this, but with respect to Afghanistan efforts that are going in tomorrow, it's going to get over. I think people can sort of concentrate on this. I hope that US also reciprocates the same. So with regards to, I just went ahead and read a huge documentary in the US site where it's like a small asterisk where it mentions that US cannot discriminate based on who are vaccinated, who are unvaccinated. So I think a lot of these discussions are based on that. Maybe they might remove this asterisk and be like, whoever is vaccinated can only enter the US region. I'm not sure, but essentially just be watch out for this channel, watch out for this space for more information. As and when I learn more, I'm definitely going to upload, so definitely subscribe. So at the moment, I expected a little bit more retaliation, but it turns out to be very lukewarm, and it's not much of a restriction if you are allowing vaccinated people. So that's where we are with respect to Europe. What about the other countries? So now, for example, the only latest travel restriction that was added in this year was India. And that was the only country where the traction has reduced from level 4 to level 3 to level 2 at the moment. So what does this mean? This means that they might, either people are following up, or there's like a lot of lobbyists trying to remove it. Either way, that's good news for India, and we'll hope to see better news coming this week as well as the next week, probably after the Labor Day vacation. Now, there's a couple of confusions that are still in place with respect to Canada and US. So Canada, again, doesn't have this 14-day period restriction, and everyone's like, where do I get the number 14 days, or how is it calculated, or why do I keep emphasizing you can still in another country for 14 days, not 4 days, or however long you want? Well, here's the thing. So Canada doesn't allow you to travel to Canada from India and directly. So you can still go through the indirect options, which everybody knows about. Some couple of other countries which are very popular at the moment because of this and are just like appreciating the tourism and all that stuff. A lot of popular choice is Serbia, because you don't really need a visa there for Indians. And a lot of visa-free countries. Maldives is one of them. There are a couple of countries which require quarantine, like 2-day quarantine. For example, Dubai requires 12-day quarantine. Abu Dhabi requires 12-day quarantine, 14-day quarantine. Depends on which countries you're traveling to. Italy, on the other hand, requires 5-day quarantine. It's sort of a mini quarantine and all that stuff. So these sort of countries are coming along and deciding what the rules are. A lot of countries in Africa don't really require any quarantine. Serbia was another popular choice for Canadian residents to go back. They don't really require any quarantine. So a lot of these popular choice, and from there you have to figure out getting all these COVID tests and stuff like that, planning out your logistics, and then going back. So because of this, a lot of hops were there in place. A lot of people went to Mexico because it's still North America and you can just get a flight over there. But now, with respect to more countries opening up and ending the quarantine period, other countries are coming up. So that is with respect to Canada. Canada doesn't say you need 14-day quarantine anywhere. It just has to fly around the third country, which people can do so. And if you do, then that's about it. Now, with respect to US, it clearly mentions in the presidential proclamation that you cannot travel from these banned countries or under the travel ban past 14 days. For example, if you leave on September 1st, that means September 1st is where you were in the country last. So you need to have at least a 14-day period before you actually plan to get to the US. So there is no I can manage it somehow and all that stuff. So now there are a lot of been cases in Twitter where people got caught in Mexico. A couple of students, couple of people who are working and everything. They went via Africa because again Africa doesn't have a quarantine period. They somehow cheated the system and then didn't provide the essential proof that they stayed in for 14 days and stuff, and they got caught. And essentially how they got caught was that the airlines actually informed to the US Embassy, or they have working groups that they informed there, and then they actually ban these people. So essentially US will disbar these people. They can no longer enter US. I just want to think about these consequences before you even do all this stuff. A lot of people are like, what's going to happen if we do so? You can just stay 2 days or 3 days, or depending on how you can plan the logistics. So for something as silly as this travel ban, I know it's very important. People want to see their families, or essentially people who work there and all that. It's very, very disheartening to see it. But just think about how difficult it was to actually get a US visa, and you're just throwing it all away by just taking a chance over here. So I would definitely not recommend doing cheating through the system and going around without the 14-day quarantine period. It is how it is. It's unfortunate. You have to spend a lot on hotel fees, or stay at your relative's place or friend's place and make it very awkward, but it is what it is. So when can we expect the travel ban to be removed? Soon, hopefully after this, probably after the holiday, we can expect some traction there. A lot of booster shots are coming in, so let's hope for the best news. So I would definitely not recommend it. Another reason is that, let's say if you get away with this first time, like you actually get away with going through this hoops and actually coming into the country, the next time when you come in, sometimes for unprovided reason, they just be like, no, you can't enter the country. They could be suspecting you of malicious activity and all that stuff. So this could be one of that. You're actually not obeying the law and just entering into the country from a banned country. So just think about all this. It hurts my heart to actually say this, but US and Canada are very different. Canada doesn't have the same rules. Obviously, it's kind of stupid to actually have travel bans in this first place, given that we are so far ahead of the pandemic, and there's so many stuff that is there in place, vaccinations and all that. It's definitely really, really disheartening, but Canada doesn't require a 14-day quarantine, whereas US does. So think about all these consequences, and before you book a flight, I was very sad to see this news, and I just wanted to share it with you guys before you even think, because a lot of comments are over here. So what is my prediction? Again, my prediction is that we'll hopefully see something the next week. I was hoping this week, but I was very underwhelmed by the response that the press secretary gave, where she was like, yeah, I mean, just get vaccinated, and not any sort of timeline or anything, because people are really anxious and stuff. Another update that I want to give is that even if you're transiting through US to Mexico or something, you're still not allowed to come from the banned countries. They're still going to be like, you can't enter, or you won't be able to check in either way. So definitely work around with your flight carrier. Just look at all these options before you even travel. So it is what it is. So hopefully this news and this video is a little of an update for all these questions that you had. Do let me know if you have more questions, and I'll definitely post another video and update as and when I get to know more about this. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, hit the like button and definitely subscribe. It definitely helps me to create more videos like this and help you out. So see you later in another video. Bye.